welcome to the news in Africa and the world. What is making news across the continent? Opposition supporters in Mali have again gone to the streets to demand the departure of President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta. Protesters numbered in thousands took to Bamako's Independence Square carrying placards bearing anti-government slogans. Neither the appeal of ECOWAS, let alone the rain, discouraged many demonstrators bent on seeing President Ibeka departure and his head of government, Prime Minister Boubou Cissé. On Monday, the 9 new members of the Constitutional Court were sworn in accordance with ECOWAS recommendations in the presence of Mediator Goodluck Jonathan. Still, there is little indication of breaking the impasse as anti-Keïta protests have gone ahead despite his admonitions. The protest turned violent on July 10 when at least 11 people were killed in clashes between security forces and protesters in the worst political strife Mali has seen in years. Guinea's highly anticipated presidential election would take place on October 18. President Alpha Condé, in a decree announced on national television. It was later confirmed by the country's Independent National Electoral Commission, who asked political parties to submit the names of their candidates by Thursday. The move comes after the 82-year-old president pushed through the constitutional reform in March that critics argued was a ploy to allow him to run for office a third time. According to the Guinean constitution, a presidency is limited to 2 terms and the head of state was elected in 2010 and 2015. Analysts stipulate that the new constitution could reset the presidential term, counter and potentially enable him to run a third time. Condé, however, is yet to formally declare whether he will stand for election, though his party, the Rassemblement du Peuple de Guinée, RPG, nominated him as a presidential candidate last year. We move over to Niger 2 days after 6 French aid workers and 2 Nigerians were shot dead at a wildlife reserve outside the capital. The government has now extended the state of emergency to the entire Niamey region. State emergency had already been declared to the north and west of Niamey, near the borders with Mali and Burkina Faso. The country's National Security Council and President Muhammadu Issoufou also decided to mobilize all defense and security forces in search of the attackers and temporarily close the natural reserve, according to the presidency. No one has yet claimed responsibility for the attack. France's anti-terrorism prosecutor has launched an investigation. Out of Africa, we go to America, where Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden has named Kamala Harris as his running mate, making the California senator the first black and South Asian American woman to run on a major political party's presidential ticket. Harris, who made her own run for the White House before ending it and endorsing Biden, is an experienced politician, already battle-tested by the rigors of the 2020 presidential campaign as they head into the final stretch of the November 3 election. Kamala Harris would debate Trump's running mate, Vice President Mike Pence, on the 7th of October in Salt Lake City, Utah. Harris is the 3rd woman to serve as vice presidential candidate for a major political party, following Geraldine Ferraro as the Democratic vice president pick in 1984 and Sarah Palin as the Republican vice presidential pick in 2008. Biden and Harris are set to appear together for the first time for a speech today in Wilmington, Delaware. From America, we move to Russia, where President Vladimir Putin said Russia has become the first country in the world to grant regulatory approval of a COVID-19 vaccine after less than 2 months of testing on humans. Mr. Putin said the vaccine had passed all the required checks, adding that his daughter had already been given it, while mass vaccination is planned to begin in October. The vaccine has, however, raised some concerns among experts at the speed of its approval. Amid fears that safety could have been compromised, the World Health Organization urged Russia last week to follow international guidelines for producing a vaccine against COVID-19. The World Health Body is asking for a rigorous safety data review. Developed by the Moscow-based Gamaleya Institute, the vaccine has been named the Sputnik V. And in order to limit a second wave of COVID-19 infections in France, Prime Minister Jean Castex has asked prefects to extend the wearing of face masks in public spaces. He warned the public was becoming careless after official data recorded nearly 5,000 new COVID-19 cases from Saturday to Monday. As another preventive measure, events of more than 5,000 people will be banned until October 30, the Prime Minister added. The French authority on Tuesday reported a further 1,397 new cases of the coronavirus over 24 hours, a significant daily increase. Jean Castex has moreover announced a strengthening of controls on compliance with all the rules intended to prevent the spread of the virus, respect of barrier measures, wearing of face masks, especially in restaurants, recalling that one cannot expect everything from public authorities but must show a sense of responsibility. Thanks for watching the news. Don't go away. Programs continue on TBS television until we come your way. Do take care and stay safe.